Hello and welcome to our community connections call. This is Kelly Wilkins. I'm your host of My Self-Reliance, and we are together every Tuesday night. This is the first time you're watching. Welcome, and so good to have you here. We are with Mrs. Mudcake from Let's Grow Free, and we're so excited that she can join us today because I've been looking at different ways that we can exchange within our communities that doesn't involve money. And Mrs. Mudcake and the Let's Grow Free community have been doing this for a long time now. And so I'm so excited to share this with you. Welcome.
Oh, thank you, Kelly. Thanks for having me on here. So, yeah, I can tell you about Let's Grow Free. It is something that we set up last year, but Let's has been in Australia for at least 40 years. And I have been a member of another Let's group for 15 years before Let's Grow Free. And I've got some slides I can show you if you'd like.
Yeah, would you like to? Yeah,
Sure.
click over those, and I will pin you there.
Okay, so to learn about Let's Grow Free, we kind of need to wind back a little bit and learn about Let's itself. So Let's stands for Local Energy Trading System. And as I was saying earlier, it's been in Australia for at least 40 years. And it exists like a barter system, but it's actually better than barter. It's way better than barter. And that's for a few reasons. So firstly, if you think about barter, it depends on two people having like what we call a double coincidence of needs. So it's a two-way trade where they happen to have what you're after and you happen to have what they're after, and then you trade. But Let's is what we call a community exchange system, and it's where it doesn't depend on one person to trade. We say it, trade the favor or repay the favor. The favor can be repaid from anybody in the community, and that's why community exchange systems are far more popular than barter systems. And also they grow community spirit in ways that barter systems never could. And there are community exchange systems functioning all around the world, and they have been for decades and decades. So this is a photograph taken from the early 1990s. So Let's, as I was saying, has been in Australia for a long time. I think it first came to Australia in 1987, and it was brought to Australia from two residents of Maleni in Queensland. They travelled to Canada to see how Let's worked there, and then they brought it back and introduced it to Australia, and then it spread like wildfire. We had 250 Let's groups in Australia at one time. So at the moment, we have 25 existing Let's groups in Australia. And here we are down the bottom, Let's Grow Free. And we're the only community exchange which is Australia-wide. And we set it up that way because we weren't sure how it would go. And we wanted to just see who was interested first, see who might want to come on board. So we set it up Australia-wide, and now we're coming down into smaller communities now and setting up local community exchanges. So in a nutshell, I mean, sometimes it's hard to explain what Let's Grow Free is, but in a nutshell, it's an Australia-wide community exchange, as I said. Our members trade goods and services without dollars, and the trades are recorded on a ledger. and members advertise their offers and needs on the exchange, and interested persons can respond to those. And this means people can shop at any time, but we do also have a monthly market where people can come along, offer their goods and services. We have guest speakers at those markets. And we always include a wellbeing component as well in the markets. And I like to include a wellbeing activity for the children, because they've been through a tough time in the last few years and may not be able to voice it as well as adults. So we'll do a wellbeing activity like therapeutic crafts or therapeutic storytelling, activities like that. We have another lady in Let's who does art therapy. So yeah, lots of options there for the kids. The other point I'd like to make is that Let's Grow Free is a not-for-profit association, and it's completely manned by a wonderful team of volunteers who just want to do their part in helping people to recover from the pandemic years. And also because we have a sense of urgency about what could be difficult times ahead. So I mentioned a ledger earlier. I just wanted to give you an example of what the ledger looks like. So this is online, and we understand that a lot of people are cautious about online. So we do allow people to trade using their Telegram name. And the other thing is we understand people are concerned about internet going down. So because Let's is so old school, I mean, it's been around since long before internet. So we've actually talked to the old time Let's people. We call them the Let's legends, and they've shown us how they recorded all the trades and things in the past, and they had Let's checkbooks. So we've got copies of all those. And the other thing we do is each week we print off every trade, a copy of all the trades, and we file them so that we've got a paper version as well. So I wanted to give you some examples of the market. So I mentioned earlier that while we're Australia-wide, once there's enough interest in a community, we can then set up a localised community exchange just for them. So this is Bundaberg, their market, and they quickly grew to, they're at least at 40 members now, but they're just increasing all the time. They have at least another 100 kind of in their Facebook groups learning about it. And the coordinator there, Jackie, hosted a few market days. She does it every month now. They're now expanding into wider areas of Bundaberg, out towards Agnes Water and so on. So starting next week, Bundaberg will have their own community exchange. And Jackie takes a place with our committee, and we help her and guide her, and she helps us, and we all work together. And I just wanted to show you this photo. If you can see there, this was one of Bundaberg's bulk buy arrangements they did for their members. So you can see the light newspaper there on that table. So that was one of their bulk buy steps that they took. And I'll show you some more of those in a moment. But it's a really nice time at the market. It's a shared meal. You can make your own food, bring it and sell it. And everybody has a nice time mixing with like-minded people. On this particular market day, Jackie, they went for a walk as well to an organic farm, and here's the horse there. And we have one coming up in the Hunter Valley on the 3rd of June where we'll be taking a walk through an organic farm and doing some edible weed forage as well.
So good.
So where we're different from other Let's groups, existing Let's groups, is that we focus on two main areas. We focus on wellbeing and we focus on prepping. these are the two primary focuses that we talk about in our committee and we make decisions around, and we're always trying to come up with ideas to support our members in those ways. And the way we do that is we have something in our exchange which we set up called a community chest. And with the community chest, we can fund some of these special activities. So I'll show you a bit more about that. So these are some of our, what we call our community chest activities. So we have bulk buys, which we do. We have wholesale, all kinds of medicinal and wellbeing products. Now, there are actually thousands of those that we can access. So what we do is we have a Let's Grow Free naturopath, and we run everything before her, and we get the nod to say, yes, that's fine to offer. You know, that's safe to take without a naturopath consultation and so on. So that's something we fund out of our community chest. And we also have the naturopath doing the Wellbeing Wednesday. We have a prepping channel. We have a health and wellbeing channel. So we also do bulk buys for prepping type. We've bought two-way radios. This book here, the No Grid Survival, we've been buying that in bulk and selling it on to our members. And the Rescue Remedy, that's just something that so many of us need at the moment. And so we buy that in bulk and sell it on to our members. And we also set up special type 3 monthly community chest programs. And this one was the Working Bee, which we set up, where people could ask to have the Let's Grow Free community workers to come out and assist at their place for it was half a day on a Saturday. So this is an example of how we choose our community chest program. So this was an advert we placed in our Telegram and Facebook channel. And we asked people to vote on what they would like to have funded for that quarter. And people usually choose, the bulk buy and the medicinals. The roving coffee catch-up is an idea we had where we take a herbalist or a naturopath or a psychotherapist, somebody with a prepping or wellbeing type background. We get them in the car and we travel somewhere in the Hunter and we go to a cafe and people can come and listen to them speak. And that's been fun, actually.
Love that.
Yeah, that's been fun. Last time we did one, we went over to Lake Macquarie area and we had a lady speaking on, she raises chickens using homeopathic, so no nasties in medicinals for her chickens. We also had my partner Kevin gave a talk on edible weeds, and I had some medicinal products there to sell on to people. So the monk fruit, I think we had Rescue Remedy. Yeah, so it was a great day. So when people come to us, they're a little bit hesitant. They're not sure what they have to offer. So these are some links that can really help people. So on our website, we've actually got some video footage that can guide you with that, but also on the Community Exchange website, which is for all of the Let's groups in Australia. They have some excellent Q&As there, and they have lists and lists of different services and goods you could offer. So I did just copy some of their, oops, I missed it. 1 second, sorry. This is some of their ideas from that website. Oops. So people have skills, but they also have resources. So renting is an option. We
Right.
have people offering their homes at the moment for B&B, and that's very exciting because it means we can travel around Australia and stay in homes and pay libbies, which is our currency, short for liberties. We can pay liberties and stay in people's homes and know they're of like mind and know that we'll be welcomed. So I actually offer my home at the moment. I have a front section that I offer out as B&B.
Wow, so many options. Look at that.
It's exciting. I've got such a happy story to tell you in a moment. I'm so happy to share it. So we had a lady who wanted to sign up, and she she said, she put a post in one of our groups and said, I'm just an old duck. I'm 66-year-old. I've got nothing to offer. So we do hear that kind of thing, and we try to encourage people, and we do run workshops on how to find your skills, passions, resources. And that's a fun workshop because people suddenly realize they've got so much to offer. And so I'll just share with you what this particular lady wrote. I think I ended up phoning her, and we had a long chat. And then she put this post in the next day. I'll just read it out. I am so super excited. I cannot thank you enough for the joy and excitement you have given me. And I have ideas swimming madly in my head. You are right in saying that I didn't think I had much, if anything, to offer. And now that has changed with one conversation. With everything that has been going on in the world, I felt like a lone cork bobbing in the ocean. Now I feel like I've made it into the river and I can see the crowd coming to join me. I am so excited at the prospect of being of being an active member of Let's. Thanks a million.
Wow, I love that.
Oh, just so
Yeah.
beautiful. That's what it's about. And this lovely lady, she has offered that if anybody is not sure what they can offer, that she will phone them and talk with them and help them find what their own specialties are. She's now offering mosaic classes for the kids at our markets.
That's beautiful. Do you know, when I started my self-reliance, this is the vision that I had, is that I would bring people and skills together and help them to create this way of supporting each other in communities and networks. And here you guys are doing it. You've got a system for it. It's easy for people to join and tap in and get connected straight away. And it's just beautiful. It's so clear and obvious, but it's so lovely.
Look, it makes my heart sing when I hear things like this. The thing is, we can't take the credit really, because Let's has been around for so long. All we did was put a new arm on an existing goddess, let's say. We put a new arm, that's all.
So are you going to show us what a Libby's is and how you trade Libby's? Oh, here we go.
Yeah. I thought I'd share some shots from the actual exchange.
Beautiful.
So these are some things that people have offered at the moment. So we have an architect here. He's requesting 200 Libbies. Now, one Libby is equal to $1. So that's how you work it out. We have another person here selling mud crabs, which I wish he was local to me. That would be awesome. He's from Bundaberg Way. We have a naturopath doing live blood analysis, which many people are interested in at the moment. This is my favourite though. I love this one. Now, this is a guy who was from the Hunter Valley Freedom Fighters, and this was his offering was to listen, just to listen to people who wanted to, just express how
You need to rant? I've got an ear.
that's it. And it was so nice. There was an elderly gentleman in his 80s who actually told me he was going to contact him and take him up on that, which is
Super.
very nice. Yeah. And you'll see here that his offering says Molly's, and that's because we have another Let's group, which we used to all be in, and they trade in Molly's. And that's short. They named their currency after Molly Morgan, who was a convict here in the Hunter.
Mm.
And so, yeah, theirs are named after they're named Molly's. Ours are Liberties, but they're of equal value.
Mm-hmm.
And we can trade equally all through the online system. We can actually trade with all of the Let's groups around Australia, no problem.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's great. So the other part I thought you might be interested in is to know that while we're Australia-wide, there is an option on the exchange where you can just search in certain areas. So as our numbers grow, we set up a new category on the exchange so that you can just search in that location if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And then if the numbers get bigger and bigger in certain areas, we'll actually take them off this exchange and set them up in their own, but they can still trade with us. They're still called Grow Free, like it'll be Bundaberg Grow Free, and they can still trade with us, and they share our values and our community projects and community chest, all those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So also on the exchange, people can make known what their wants are. And I've just given you a few examples here.
So good.
Yeah, I was actually very happy to see sailing lessons. I mean, it's really great people are looking to enjoy life and get out and about. But the other great thing about Let's is, if you're moving house or you need a working bee team, you can get people there to help you, and you can pay them in libbies, which you can earn through your goods and services. But the other system we have set up is that we've set up a libbies overdraft of 500 so that when you first join Let's Grow Free, you can start trading right away because we have that overdraft set up for you. And then over time, you would just, work at bringing that overdraft back up to zero.
Amazing.
So I've just thought I'd share some quotes from people that have joined. And the first one is from our Grow Free economist, Margot, and she's actually giving a Zoom shortly on why everybody needs to join Let's, because she's been well aware of the failing banking system. I think for 30 years she's been following it. So she'll be giving a Zoom on why it's so important we all get into Let's. But this was her comment. She said it's about trading goods and services outside the failing banking system, and so that we can build resilient, viable local economies. So that's the thing with Let's. For some people, it's all about the economics. That's great. I'm glad it does that. I'm more into it for other reasons, but it's so versatile that it just suits everyone. Because I'm more welfare focused, and I don't understand banking and all that kind of stuff really. But anyway, this is a comment from somebody else. It's about building a community of like-minded people who will support one another. The market days are a great way to have some fun and spend time with your tribe.
100%. We all need to connect, don't we? And being able to connect in this way, community, get in touch with your person in person.
Yes, definitely. And a lot of our members, they're feeling vulnerable, and the psychologists in our committee, they're saying that most of our tribe have PTSD, or are recovering from grief. So we have to be super conscious of any decisions we make and really finding ways to support them. So that's what this next comment is. I love this next comment too. So this was a lady in Melbourne, and she is now caring for her vaccine injured son, and it's a full-time job for her. So her house is all suffering now. You know, she can't keep up with the housework, even going out to get shopping and all these kinds of things. So she can now pay for help using her Libby's overdraft. And in these situations, that's where else the community chest can come in, because the community chest will have Libby's in that chest that we can, if people ask for assistance, we can assess it and we can give them some of the Libby's from the community chest. So just to explain how the Libby's get into the community chest, we've set it up on the system where each time a trade goes through the system, so anytime somebody contacts someone on the system and says, yes, I want to buy your eggs, or yes, can you come and do some carpentry for me? They then exchange funds online on the system. And each time that exchange happens, the community chest receives 4% of that trade. And that 4% of that trade is what we then use to fund the community chest programs.
It all goes back to the community anyway, so it's such a good system and so beautifully thought
out. This is another comment. It makes sense to join Let's Grow Free because it makes your dollars go further. That's true, it really does, because you're not needing to spend so much of your money. You can actually trade in Libby's. And this is a really great part about, Let's Grow Free is because it's a community exchange and not a barter system. It works where, you know, I help you, you help another, and someone else helps me. There's not this only a two-way trade. And this photo was taken at one of the markets. Yeah.
It's where you pay it forward, don't you?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah. Yeah. So if you're interested in joining, there are two ways you can go about it. We used to send people straight to this website here, which is how you can join up directly, but it's an old website. The community exchange has, well, the online community exchange in Australia has been there for 15 years. So the system's a little bit outdated and we just have to be patient with it. It's a bit clunky. So people were finding that a bit hard to follow. So then we set up some training videos on our own website, which is this one above. So I'll just show you a bit further. If you wanted to go straight to this bottom website, there it is up there again, communityexchange.net.au. We're here. Just look for where it says Grow Free Australia, and you'll click on that link and it'll take you in and ask you some questions and share with you our terms and conditions, that kind of thing.
Beautiful.
But otherwise, yeah, you can just go to our website and the videos are great.
And then you also have a Facebook page too.
Yeah, I'll go to those. I'll get to those. I've got them at the end, I think. So if people wanted to know more, there's lots of information on Let's. It's got such a rich history. James Tarras, he went traveling all around the world, just staying in Let's accommodation. He wrote this fabulous book. He lives in Melbourne. I've talked to him on the phone. I'm going to try and get him on a Zoom. And other resources are, because Let's began in Canada, that's a little YouTube video where it goes into that. Michael Linton was the man who set it all up there. And something else that I thought you might find interesting if people are just saying, oh, well, you know, what kind of things can I get on there? So this is a link where you can click on that and you'll be able to see all the offerings in Grow Free at the moment. It doesn't show the people's names and things. We keep all that strictly private, but you can just see the offerings and what town they're at.
Great. Maybe you can send me that link and I can put it in the...
Sure.
Yeah.
And also if people wanted to see what offerings are in the other exchanges. So you might remember at the beginning I showed you there are 25 different community exchanges in Australia. So here are just 3 by way of example. And again, people can click on those and see what they're offering because you can trade with them. We can trade all through Australia. There are thousands and thousands of offerings. So, as I said previously, there's the website, even though it's old and clunky, it has excellent information on there. The questions and answers there are great. It also gives a lot of research that's been done around the world, and it's all very positive for Let's Communities. We also have our website has information about us, and it's also got some Let's videos from other Let's groups. I think it's a Perth Let's video. We do have a Telegram channel, so this is a public channel. Once you become a member, we put you into our members only groups, but this Facebook group as well, we have a separate group for our members. This is the Facebook group where we just introduce people to Let's Grow Free, what it's about, how it works. We teach them about Let's history, just, you know, it's just a place for people to ask questions.
So the first link though, the communityexchange.net.au, that's where you want to go to actually join up, right?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
the one with the red arrow, wherever it went there. Yeah, that's it there.
Okay.
Look for Grow Free Australia. Yep.
Okay, got you.
Yep.
Beautiful.
I think, yes, there we go.
Wonderful. Well, I don't know why everybody's not on it and haven't heard about it before. And, you know, I've kind of been watching it from afar, I suppose, for a little while. And I think it's time to actually just really get into it now. And maybe if you want to just press stop share. I don't know if there's any other questions. We've got Barry in the chat. Barry, did you have any questions that you wanted to ask?
Can you hear me?
Just very tiny. I don't know if you can turn up your volume.
What about now?
Yes, that's perfect. Yes.
Yeah, this headset must be working, or not for the microphone anyway. No, it's all sounds good. I was just wondering, what did you say? Everyone gets
Libby's?
a overdraft of Libby's or something to start off with.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they can go and spend things, and then how do you rate? Like, do you work on what your service is worth in dollars, and then convert that to Libby's? Do you?
Yeah, so $1 is equal to 1 Libby in general. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if I'm selling selling apples and we work out that they're worth $4 a kilogram, so I say the apples I trade at 4 Libbies per kilogram. Is that how it sort of works?
You can, or you can put any price on it you like, as long as people want to buy it. Yeah, yeah.
And then the other thing that you were saying as well is that if you wanted to trade time, it's there's a fairly standard time of 35 Libbies per hour. Is that
yeah, so
my understanding?
Yeah, so when we work out, people often ask us, how much should I charge for my time, you know? So the other Let's groups, we kind of took a leaf out of their book, and they base it on the average Australian wage, which at the moment is a little bit over $35 per hour. So we tend to ask people to offer their services at 35 Libbies per hour. However, some people were wanting to offer their services for much more money than that, like, or many more libbies than that. You would have seen the architect was asking for 200, I think it was, or 300. So really, as long as people are prepared to pay that, it's okay. But what we're trying to avoid is offering sitting on the exchange where the libby's amount is so high that nobody's buying. We're trying to avoid that because we want to keep things ticking over.
Mm.
So when we see somebody has put a large amount, we will phone them and chat with them and try to find a way to bring it down, even if it's part cash and part libbies. We can do that. And the other special incentive we try to offer to get people to keep their prices low, all of our community chest items, which you saw, all those special wholesale medicinals, the prepping books, the bulk buys, we only offer that to members who have traded on the exchange. So if someone's just joined and done nothing, they're missing the whole point. This is a community. You got to trade. You got to get to know your tribe. We all help each other. So to try to encourage them to lower their prices, any special projects we do, they have to have traded. And eventually it'll get to where you have to have traded in the last month to access those special programs. Because, see, the trades pay for the community chest. Do you see what I mean? So each time a trade goes through, 4% goes into the community chest. So if people aren't trading, they're not helping
the
fund
programs. That's right.
So it's like the little red hen. If you want to access the community chest programs, you've got to be trading.
Yeah, it's a great system. I really appreciate it, and that it really it's really what we're all I want to say born for, but we are. It helps people think internally. What skills? What do I have to offer? You know, what not like. What can I get for free? What can I do? Like this modern thinking, you know, like how can I get something for nothing?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
You know?
Actually,
We're more about what can I give so that I can help somebody else, and then in return that will come back to me.
absolutely. Absolutely. And it's old school stuff, you know? It's how our great grandparents lived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all sounds good, but especially you just need an implementation plan of how you're going to get everybody on board. If only small people take it up slowly, you sort of need to sell it
Well, and that's like with any
quickly.
trading system, you
Does that
know,
make sense?
it's like with any platform, social media platform, you know, if you don't have other people on the platform, you can't really chat. But this is it now. It's like it starts off with 3 people, right? So and then from there it can develop and grow, and I guess the more you get involved, the more excited you get, and you tell others.
Yeah,
exactly. And Barry, really, Let's has always been about local. So ideally, we'd be hoping people would get their own group of 30 to 40 people in their local area, and then they would be setting up their own community exchanges, which we can then trade with everyone else and still come to markets and everything together. But the idea is that, you know, you get to know your local and you grow your food local and you share local. That's really what Let's has always been about throughout history. Yeah.
It's so good. Well, I want to say thank you so much for joining us tonight, Mrs. Mudcake. I love that name. and sharing with us the Let's Grow Free Australia system, and of course the other Let's. Now, the Grow Free is an add-on to the Let's program, right? So there's Let's has always been around.
That's right. Yeah.
And then the Grow Free has come in more recently with without the freedom community. So just that
Exactly.
differentiation.
Exactly. So we've just a new arm on the original, I don't know, goddess. I'm just trying to think of the name of the original Let's. We've just made a new arm, and full credit to the Let's legends who have been at this for a long time in Australia. And we do bring them onto our Zooms and interview them, and they're absolute hoot.
Yeah.
They're wonderful. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, we'll wrap it up today. And if you have additional questions, or if you're watching the replay and you have any questions, then feel free to message in. But also jump onto the Let's Grow Free. Do you want to read out that link again so that people listening can write that down? I know you had
Yes.
it up there.
Yeah. So if you go to our website, that's the easiest, because we do have links there for our Facebook and Telegram groups.
Was it letsgrowfree.org?
Org. Yeah.
Org. Yes.
Yeah.
Letsgrowfree.org.
That's it.
Or join the Telegram group, Let's Grow Free, or Facebook page.
That's
So, and
right.
I'll put all of those links into the recording so that people can find those as well. So
Great. That'll make it easier.
yes.
Lovely. Well, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Okay.
Beautiful.
Okay, thanks. Okay.
See you
Bye.
next time.
Bye.
Bye.